If you've ever sat in front of a slot machine thinking, just one more spin and I'll win it back, this is for you. Because people who used to work inside the casino say that's exactly the thought the machines are designed to trigger. Slots don't just take your money. They study your emotions, play with your instincts, and convince you you're about to win even when the odds are microscopic. So today, we're lifting the curtain. You're about to learn 7 deadly slot mistakes most players still make, and how to spot the traps before they swallow your bankroll. Once you understand these insider truths, you'll never look at a slot machine the same way again. Let's start with something casinos will never admit publicly. The slot floor isn't about luck. It's about psychology. Every sound, color, and animation is a carefully engineered feedback loop. The goal isn't for you to win. It's to keep you spinning. Former employees say the biggest misconception among players is that the casino wants them to lose quickly. Wrong. The casino wants you to lose slowly, so you stay longer, drink more, and keep chasing the high of a near win. The moment you sit down, the game goes to work on your brain. The cheerful chimes, flashing lights, and those satisfying clicks as the reels stop. None of that is random. Designers literally test sounds in labs to see which frequencies cause the strongest dopamine response. You might think you're in control, but the machine is already controlling you. Here's the first secret. Most slot machines play the same victory sound whether you actually win or not. Imagine betting $1 and winning 80 cents. You've just lost 20 cents, but the machine celebrates as if you hit the jackpot. Your brain hears triumph. Your wallet tells a different story. Over hundreds of spins, that fake reinforcement rewires how you perceive losing. It makes you addicted to the feeling of almost winning. Now, combine that with color psychology. Casinos use red, gold, and neon for a reason. Red raises heart rate and creates excitement. Gold suggests wealth. The environment is engineered to make you feel safe spending money. Like it's playtime, not risk. Former designers even call slot machines adult candy. Bright, sweet, and irresistible. Then comes the cruelest trick of all. The near miss. You spin, 2 jackpot symbols line up, and the third lands just 1 space away. Your heart jumps. You were so close. But statistically, that near miss is exactly the same as losing completely. Still, your brain treats it as progress. A sign you're due to win. It's pure illusion, but it keeps players glued to the chair. And here's where mistake number 1 begins. Mistake number 1, increasing your bet after losing, the martingale trap. Everyone's done it. You lose a few spins in a row and think, I'll double my bet. I have to hit soon. That's called the martingale instinct, and it's financial suicide in a slot machine. Unlike roulette or blackjack, slots don't have streaks or predictable cycles. Every spin is controlled by an algorithm called a random number generator that runs thousands of combinations per second. Your last spin has absolutely zero influence on your next one. Former casino attendants say they saw this mistake ruin players daily. A guy would start with $50, lose a few rounds, then start betting $5 instead of $1 to win it back faster. 10 minutes later, he's out of money. Not because the machine was cold, but because he fed his emotions instead of following math. Here's the life hack from ex-employees. Never increase your bet after a loss. If anything, lower it. The only thing you control in a casino is how fast you lose, not whether you win. Betting bigger doesn't change the odds. It just accelerates the inevitable. Smart gamblers set strict, loss limit brackets. They decide before they play, if I lose 20% of my bankroll, I walk away. That's called a stop-loss system, and it's the secret that separates the disciplined from the broken. Because here's the truth. Casinos aren't beating players with luck. They're beating them with emotion. Light bulb mistake number 2, ignoring the stop-loss rule. Former casino managers say the most dangerous phrase they ever hear from players is, I just need to get back to even. That's the gambler's trap in its purest form. When you chase losses, you stop thinking logically. The emotional part of your brain, the amygdala, hijacks decision-making. You stop seeing dollars, you see points, credits, wins owed to you. The casino loves that moment because they know you're no longer playing the game is playing you. Here's how professionals protect themselves. Before sitting down, they decide on two numbers. Keycap 1A win goal, the amount at which they'll cash out no matter what. Keycap 2A loss limit, the point at which they'll stand up and leave, even if they feel lucky. Example, you walk in with $100. Your win goal is $150. Your loss limit is $60. If you hit $150, you cash out, done. If you drop to $60, same deal, done. Sounds boring, but it's how disciplined players survive. Former employees say almost nobody follows this rule. Why? Because casinos are experts at distraction. No clocks, no windows, endless noise, flashing colors, and free drinks. All designed to make you lose track of time and logic. The longer you stay, the more likely you'll give everything back. Here's a pro tip. Set your phone timer for 20 minutes before you start. When it buzzes, take a break. Look at your balance, your wins, your losses. The goal isn't to stop having fun. The goal is to stop the trance. They call it the machine zone. That hypnotic state when players spin automatically, no emotion, no awareness, just rhythm. In that state, hours disappear. And that's exactly what the casino wants. Musical note, the science of the machine zone. Slot designers study this phenomenon like psychologists study lab rats. They know that repetitive motion combined with intermittent rewards causes your brain to release dopamine even when you're losing overall. It's identical to how social media works. Endless scroll. Occasional tiny hit of pleasure. You think you're in control, but you're responding to programmed stimuli. That's why slots rarely show your balance in dollars anymore. They use credits. You're down 500 credits sounds harmless, but that's 50 real dollars gone. They blur the line between play and reality, just enough to keep you spending without pain. Ex-casino techs reveal one more manipulation. Celebration lights on losses. Machines are programmed to flash and make sounds for any win over a certain ratio, even if it's technically a net loss. You might have bet $2 and won $1.50, but the machine still cheers. Why? Because the goal isn't to show profit. It's to trigger hope. And hope in a casino is currency. Mistake number 3, falling for casino design tricks. Here's something few players realize. Casinos are designed like mazes. There are no straight paths leading out. High-profit games like slots are placed in the middle so you pass them constantly. Low-profit tables, like blackjack, sit near entrances to make the casino look exciting. Even carpet patterns are chaotic on purpose. They keep your eyes moving and your brain overstimulated. Former employees say the safest seats, the ones least manipulated by sound and color, are usually near exits or service areas. That's no coincidence. Casinos want you deep inside, far from daylight or perspective. And then there's the music. Ever notice how it never stops? That rhythmic electronic hum keeps your brain slightly aroused but not tired, the perfect mental state for compulsive play. Silence would wake you up. Constant sound keeps you dreaming. Here's a real insider hack. Play early, leave early. Studies show people lose more the longer they stay. Your odds don't get worse, your discipline does. The truth is, casino design is an invisible hand guiding your behavior. Every light, sound, and scent has been tested to extend your session. Even the smell, yes, they pump in artificial scents scientifically proven to increase spending. One famous blend, used in Las Vegas, raised slot revenue by 45% after testing. So, if you ever walk into a casino and think, wow, it smells amazing in here, remember, that's the smell of manipulation. Mistake number 4, believing in hot and cold machines. Walk through any casino and you'll hear it. That machine's been paying out all night. It's hot. Or, this one hasn't hit in hours. It's due. That kind of talk is the casino's secret weapon, because it feeds the illusion that you can predict randomness. Here's the truth from people who've actually worked on the floor. Every modern slot is controlled by a random number generator running thousands of outcomes every second. When you press spin, the software freezes 1 instant of that stream. The timing is faster than any human reflex. There is no cycle, no pattern, no warming up or cooling down. Former technicians say the idea of hot machines was originally invented by marketing teams. They knew players talked about luck, so they leaned into it. They even positioned machines that had recently paid out near busy walkways. People saw others winning and thought, that's the lucky one. But the truth is simple, every spin is independent. Here's the life hack. Stop chasing the concept of a lucky machine and start reading the payout table instead. The only meaningful difference between slots is the return to player percentage, or RTP. A 96% RTP means that over millions of spins, the machine gives back $96 for every $100 wagered. The higher, the better. Casinos usually hide RTP info deep inside the help screen, but it's worth checking before you play. Smart players treat it like reading nutrition labels. You don't need to understand every number. Just know it's healthy. And remember, just because someone next to you hits a jackpot doesn't mean the machine was ready. They just happened to press the button at the exact microsecond that triggered a winning code. You could have sat there for hours and still missed it. Luck doesn't build, it blinks. Mistake number 5, ignoring the $20 rule. This one comes straight from former floor supervisors. They call it the $20 rule, and it's one of the simplest ways to protect your bankroll. Here's how it works. Sit down, insert $20, and play normally for a short session. If after those spins your balance hasn't increased, if you've been hovering at losses the whole time, that machine is cold to you. Stand up, cash out, and move on. Why $20? Because it's enough spins to see the machine's rhythm without getting emotionally trapped. If it doesn't reward you early, it likely won't later. Machines have program volatility. Some pay small wins frequently, others pay big wins rarely. The trick is to find one that matches your temperament. Former employees say that people who ignore this rule almost always lose more. They get emotionally attached. They think, I've already put $80 in, it has to pay soon. That's called sunk cost fallacy, believing past losses justify future risk. The casino counts on it. Here's another insider hack. When you win, immediately set aside your original stake. Let's say you turn $20 into $40. Pull out the first $20. Now you're playing only with profit, and anything you win after that is pure bonus. Professionals call this locking your bankroll. It's not glamorous, but it's how you walk out with money instead of regret. Mistake number 6, chasing losses, the emotional spiral. Ask any ex-dealer or attendant what ruins players faster than anything else, and they'll all say the same word: chasing. It starts small. You lose a few rounds and your brain whispers, just a little more. You can win it back. But neuroscience shows that after every loss, the brain's reward center goes into overdrive. It releases stress chemicals that make you desperate for the next win, not because of money, but because of unfinished emotion. That's why chasing losses feels like fixing something broken. You're not trying to win, you're trying to heal a wound. Casinos know this. That's why machines are designed to spin fast, so you never have time to think between outcomes. No pause, no reflection, no moment to cool down. Just spin, 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 dopamine, frustration, hope, repeat. Former staff say they used to watch players enter what they called the loop. They'd start breathing faster, pressing the button harder, muttering to themselves. Sometimes, even after a jackpot, they'd keep going because they couldn't stop the cycle. Here's the real-life hack. The moment you feel anger, frustration, or a burning need to win back what you lost, stand up. Right then. That emotional spike means you've left the logical zone and entered the danger zone. Step outside, drink water, breathe fresh air, look at your wallet. The physical act of leaving resets your mind. Smart players treat emotion like alcohol. If you feel it taking over, you stop driving. Hear the gambler's fallacy, the lie your brain tells you. Every person who's ever lost at a slot has felt it. That certainty that it's about to hit. Psychologists call it the gambler's fallacy, the belief that past losses make a win more likely. In reality, each spin is independent, a brand new roll of digital dice. Imagine flipping a coin and getting heads 5 times in a row. Most people think tails are due, but the odds of tails are still 50-50 on the next flip. Slots work the same way. The only thing that changes after a loss is your emotion, not the math. Former casino trainers used to demonstrate this by running hundreds of simulated spins in front of new employees. Patterns appeared, streaks of wins and losses, but each one was random. The point was to teach staff how players see meaning where none exists. That illusion is the heart of gambling addiction. Your brain's need for patterns colliding with true randomness. If you understand that deeply, you gain power. Every time you think, it's due, remind yourself, the machine doesn't remember me. It doesn't care how long I've played. It has no memory, no mercy, no mood. Mistake number 7, playing without an exit strategy. This is the final and deadliest mistake. Going in without a plan for how to get out. Most people decide their bets on the fly. They tell themselves they'll stop when they're ahead. But ahead is never a fixed number. It's a feeling. And feelings move the goalpost every second. You win $100 and think, I can make it $200. You lose $50 and think, I can get back to even. Either way, you stay too long. Ex-managers say the only players who consistently walk away winners aren't luckier, they're colder. They treat gambling like a transaction, not an experience. They set exact goals before sitting down, and when they reach them, they leave even if the machine just flashed a near-miss jackpot. Here's a step-by-step system former employees quietly recommend. Keycap 1, decide your total session budget before you arrive. Keycap 2, split it into 3 equal parts. Keycap 3, play 1/3, and if you double it, bank half of the profit immediately. Keycap 4, if you lose the first third, decide whether to continue, never automatically feed the next chunk in. Keycap 5, the moment your original total hits 0, you're done. It sounds strict, but it turns gambling back into what it's supposed to be, entertainment, not a fight for redemption. The hardest part is walking away right after a big win. Your adrenaline screams, you're on a roll. But that's the exact moment casinos make the most profit. Data shows most jackpot winners give back 70 to 80% of their winnings within 2 hours. They keep playing until the high fades, and by then the money's gone. The life hack: make cashing out a ritual. Physically collect the ticket, walk to the cashier, feel the paper turn into bills. That sensory moment creates closure. Then, if you still want to play, start fresh with a new small amount. Treat every session like a separate event, not a continuation of the last. Speech balloon the truth about luck. Every ex-casino worker eventually learns the same thing. Luck exists, but it's not what players think. It's not a force that builds up or fades away. It's just randomness, a brief, meaningless alignment of numbers that feels personal because you experienced it. Casinos survive on that illusion of personal destiny. This machine likes me. I'm feeling lucky today. Those thoughts are comforting, but they're also dangerous. The moment you believe you have a relationship with the machine, you've already lost the battle for control. Real control doesn't come from luck. It comes from limits, awareness, and discipline. Brain final mindset hack: shift the goal. Former employees say the healthiest gamblers they ever met were the ones who redefined what winning meant. For them, winning wasn't about the payout, it was about how long they lasted without going broke. They treated every dollar as time purchased. If $50 bought them 2 hours of entertainment and excitement, that was success. They didn't chase the jackpot, they chased value. And ironically, those were the players who sometimes walked away with profit because they knew when to quit. Casinos can't manipulate someone who isn't desperate. So here's the ultimate hack. Before you play, decide the experience you want, not the money you hope to win. Make the machine your temporary toy, not your master. If you leave with some of your bankroll intact and your emotions steady, you've already beaten the system in the only way that matters.